Hey everybody, Brandon here with IDUP Hockey, joined by Nick, who's the product manager for protective and accessories, here to walk through the brand new hockey bag line this year. Nick, thanks for having us out once again. And we have a ton of options for players who are looking for something traditional to get the job done, but all the way up to something that has all the bells and whistles.
Absolutely.
So everything in between. So let's start off with that 550 and what you guys have to offer.
For sure. So it's a big year for bags. We really want to focus on kind of three main pillars when we're looking at this bag lineup. We want to focus on aesthetics, we want to focus on ventilation, and we also want to focus on our organization. So when we look at the aesthetic side, we really wanted to make sure that we kept a hockey traditional feel at the top end. So having that classic tarp, we have our CCM reflective logo on the side, and we also have a bunch of different features that just give it a much higher end look. When we look at the ventilation, minor hockey players are going to be playing a couple games on the weekends, they have practices nonstop. We wanted to make sure that inside the bag we were able to incorporate some ventilation on the sides, on both ends, and we also have it on this side as well to really maximize the amount of airflow. Stinking base layers, nobody wants that to stink up their gear, so we wanted to make sure we had that covered. And when we're talking about the organization, we want to make sure that when you're making your bag or when you're coming off the ice, everything is pretty seamless. So when you look at the interior, we'll have our main pockets for the skates on the side. You can put your helmets in the middle, and you can place all your under protective gear all along the end on that side. We want to make sure that when you're stepping off the ice, everything is clear, and when you're putting your gear to dry after the game, it's nice and easy.
I really like the contrasted liner too. So if a darker item did fall on the bottom,
Exactly.
It's easily to see.
Absolutely. And we also updated our liner on the interior to make sure that those skates, if they don't come with skate guards, we're actually protecting the bag as well to make sure that you're covered on that end.
Nice. And in terms of an external pocket too, there's a little sneaky addition there that's pretty handy.
So we know hockey's evolving. We know players don't only keep one pair of blades on their skates, they'll have multiple pairs. So what we wanted to do is on the top end of the bag, we'll have a skate pocket, really ease and quick accessibility to make sure that players, if they want to switch on the go, they have a nice pocket to just grab that spare blade. And of course, in terms of storage, all across the bag, you'll find different pockets to put your stick tape, you'll put your scissors, anything the player really needs to have that complete line. And a nice little mesh side pocket for that base layer that kind of stinks up the whole bag.
And in terms of size and options, and there's also a wheeled version, if I'm correct. So what do we have there?
So we'll have a 32 and a 37, and this bag will also come in the wheeled option. Honestly, just a really complete line on that end.
Right on. Now, the next one is going to be the 540.
Yeah.
A ton of options and features trickling down into this hockey bag. So this has got a great value to it. So what do we got going on here?
So basically on our wheeled version, we have our 570 and we have our 540. 540 being the carry, 570 being the wheeled version. So when we look at the wheeled version over here, we have our nice ventilated sides, kind of similar as the 550. We went with more of a traditional nylon on the top, really kind of that classic look on that end. We kind of don't have that skate pocket on the top, but what you do lose at top, you gain at the inside. So you still have that organization on the end for, again, helmets, skates, anything you want to put your protective gear. We also have our interior pockets on the inside, putting base layers, scissors, any other small accessories. And of course, we still have that reflective logo to give that clean aesthetic look and make sure that all across our line, we still have that same DNA for all our products.
Right on. And in terms of the size and options for the 540 and 570, what do we have there?
Yeah, we'll be looking at a 32 and 37, and that's going to be basically standard, basically across all of our different models.
Okay. And now we have the 510. Very awesome bag for the player, more in a recreational type league. So yeah, let's walk us through the 510.
So honestly, it's going to be a great launch on our end because we're looking at the 510 and we really want to find a way on bringing more value to the consumer, right? So what we kind of want to introduce into our new year is kind of the bag in a bag concept. So our 510 will be coming in the kind of mesh bag on itself, which can be used post-game for either putting your base layers, your training stuff, anything you wanted to do. Super breathable, so again, preaching that ventilation story all across our different price points. And when we look at our 510, we'll be looking at a very traditional bag, but again, we want to make sure that we fit the needs for that competitive entry-level consumer. So when we look at the bag, we have that classic CCM branding, on the side, really gives a nice look to it. And in terms of interior, we still have a ventilation mesh all across the side. And when we open up the bag on the interior end, very traditional matte tarp look on the inside. Really, really spacious to bring all those gear that entry-level player would need.
And you still have a player ID window
Player
on
ID, we still have some organizational pockets, but overall, just great value for that low-end consumer.
And in terms of sizes and options, there's an extra one in this one, correct?
Exactly. There's a 24, 32, and then a 37.
Right on. Last but not least is the 590, a great option for the youth and intermediate hockey player looking for hockey bag convenience, organization, style points, and this is even a good option for the roller hockey player.
Absolutely. So we'll start with kind of the exterior, taking a look at it. And we really want to fit the branding of all our other new launches bags, so very similar look and feel on that end. We have huge ventilation pockets all across the side to really make sure that that gear aerates very well inside of the bag. We also have a stick sleeve all the way on the back, so players can easily walk into the room with everything on their back. And we also, when we look at the interior of the bag, very spacious to fit all those gear needs. We have skate pockets all across on the sides to make sure it fits nice and well. And we'll be able to stack your gear very well on the interior. We have a nice mesh pocket on the front. Put your base layers, really brings that aeration on that end. And we have that classic mesh all the way at the bottom to protect against either cuts, anything that can really hurt that material. We've got you covered on that end.
This is amazing. Ventilation is such a key story
It is.
for hockey bags, and it's such an important part of a hockey bag to keep your gear cool and dry and prevent it from smelling. So
Hey, everybody's had done the mistake of leaving that hockey bag in the car,
Yep.
so we got you covered with this.
I just want to say thanks once again. You guys knocked it out of the park this year with your hockey bag line, and thanks for having us out.
Appreciate you. Thank you.
And for you at home, if you're looking to get your hands on one of these hockey bags from CCM, you can head over to icewarehouse.com.